Stop everything. The internet is on fire. The hip-hop world is in meltdown. And one of the most shocking scandals in reality TV history has just exploded. Jim Jones, the man who has been through years of public love, loyalty, and heartbreak with Chrissy Lampkin, has dropped the full tape. Not a snippet, not a teaser. The full unedited, uncensored tape that exposes secrets nobody was supposed to hear. And it has already destroyed the reputation of Chrissy's husband in ways no apology will ever fix. The footage is brutal. It's raw. It's undeniable. And it's not just some rumor whispered in the shadows. This is receipts on steroids. Leaked audio and video that make it impossible to spin, impossible to deny. Chrissy's world has been flipped upside down, and the fallout has dragged the entire love and hip-hop universe into chaos. Twitter timelines are flooded. Instagram lives are exploding. Celebrities are picking sides and fans are left with their jaws on the floor. What started as whispers of betrayal has turned into a cultural earthquake. And Jim Jones is at the center of it all, standing with a final blow that no one saw coming. But here's the question burning across every screen right now. How deep does this betrayal go? And what exactly did this tape reveal that has left Chrissy humiliated, her husband destroyed, and the entire industry gasping for air? Stay locked in, because the story you're about to hear will shake everything you thought you knew about loyalty, love, and survival in hip-hop.it. Didn't start with whispers. It didn't start with messy speculation or half-baked rumors in the blogs. It started with a bomb. At exactly 8:47 p.m. on a Thursday night, Jim Jones pressed upload, and the world as Chrissy Lampkin knew it shattered in real time. Phones buzzed, notifications popped up, and the headline hit like a freight train. Jim Jones drops full tape. No teaser, no cryptic post, no sneak peek. The whole thing, raw, uncut, and utterly devastating. Within seconds, Twitter erupted. Fans rushed to click the link, their hands shaking as they typed frantically. Is this real? What did he just do? And then the footage began. The opening seconds alone were enough to stop hearts cold. It wasn't blurry, wasn't grainy, wasn't something you could brush off as fake. The quality was crystal clear. The voices were unmistakable. And front and center was Chrissy's husband, caught in the kind of compromising situation that makes excuses impossible. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was the kind of evidence people beg for but rarely see. Irrefutable, undeniable, and savage in its exposure. The tape showed him in a setting that instantly sparked recognition. Fans zoomed in on the background, the decor, the time stamp, and within minutes, people were posting screenshots proving he had been there before, matching it with old social media posts he had made months earlier. Couldn't deny it. The proof was right there, staring back like a ghost from the past. But then came the audio, and that's when the scandal shifted from shocking to catastrophic. In cold, mocking tones, Chrissy's husband's voice spilled out confessions, laughter, and the kind of disrespect that made fans' stomachs turn. He wasn't just talking, he was bragging. He was mocking Chrissy's loyalty, joking about how she would never leave no matter what he did. And worst of all, he name-dropped Jim Jones himself, dismissing him in the cruelest possible way. The internet didn't just gasp, it howled. Screenshots flew across timelines. TikToks popped up instantly with creators breaking down the most brutal lines frame by frame. Twitter threads exploded, dissecting every second of audio, analyzing the tone, the background noises, and even speculating who else might have been in the room during the recording. Within half an hour, hashtags were trending worldwide. Jim Jones' final blow. Chrissy as husband exposed. #Tapegate. Fans unleashed meme after meme. One had Chrissy's husband's face pasted onto a crumbling building with the caption, "Reputation demolished." Another showed Jim Jones smirking with chess pieces around him labeled checkmate. The internet was eating him alive, and the tape had only been out for less than an hour. Then came the celebrity reactions, and they only poured gasoline on the fire. Cardi B tweeted a single word, "damn," and attached a popcorn gif. Remy Ma went live shaking her head as she muttered, "This is the kind of disrespect you don't come back from." 50 Cent, never missing an opportunity to stir chaos, reposted the tape with his trademark laugh, adding, "Told y'all these dudes move sloppy." The industry wasn't holding back, but while the internet went wild, Chrissy's silence cut deeper than anything. Usually bold, fiery, and quick to clap back, she vanished. No posts, No cryptic tweets, no Instagram stories, nothing. Insiders whispered that she had seen the footage only minutes before it dropped and was blindsided, her entire world collapsing in front of millions. Paparazzi claimed she was spotted leaving her home with sunglasses on, head down, ignoring shouted questions. That silence spoke louder than any words, and fans could feel her heartbreak from miles away. And then, as if the scandal hadn't hit hard enough, Jim Jones himself went live. The stream filled instantly, numbers climbing into the tens of thousands in seconds. He sat back, calm, but smirking. The kind of smirk that lets you know he's been holding a card the whole time. His words were simple but devastating. "I told y'all, loyalty means everything. You play with it, you lose it. The world needed to see this. Now they know the truth." He didn't mention Chrissy's husband by name. He didn't have to. The tape said everything for him. The live cut off abruptly, but the aftershocks were immediate. Blogs scrambled to repost his words, framing them as a declaration of war. Fans swarmed his comments with praise and shock, calling him the executioner and the man who ended it all. Others debated whether Jim had gone too far, whether airing something so personal crossed the line. But no matter what side you were on, one thing was undeniable. Chrissy's husband's reputation was in ashes. Yet, the whispers didn't stop there. Insiders claimed that what the world had just seen wasn't even the worst of it. According to sources close to Jim, the tape fans saw was just the clean version. There were still darker sections, even more humiliating confessions and additional receipts that hadn't been made public yet. The rumor alone was enough to send fans into frenzy. What could possibly be worse than mocking Chrissy's loyalty, bragging about betrayal, and dragging Jim's name through the mud? What else could be hiding in those unreleased sections that Jim hadn't dropped yet? And more importantly, why hadn't he dropped them? Was he saving them, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash the next round of destruction? Fans weren't sleeping. Timelines were alive all night. Speculation running rampant. Jim playing chess, not checkers. If this was just the warm-up, the real tape is going to kill his whole career. Chrissy better leave now before the second wave hits. By midnight, even mainstream outlets were covering the story. TMZ ran a headline that screamed, "Jim Jones destroys Chrissy's husband with explosive full tape." Hot 97 debated it on air with one host saying, "This ain't just reality TV anymore. This is reputation murder." The Shadowroom's repost of the footage racked up millions of views in hours, their comment section drowning in snake emojis and broken heart memes. But the most chilling moment of the night came from a single cryptic post Jim made hours after dropping the tape. A photo of a chessboard, a lone king piece tipped over, and a caption that read simply, "Checkmate." The symbolism was clear. The tape wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an outburst. It was a calculated move. A final blow Jim had been planning, waiting for the perfect moment to execute. And Chrissy's husband, he had walked straight into it, never seeing it coming. Fans sat frozen, scrolling through every comment, every meme, every leak. The consensus was clear. If this was only the first blow, the second would be fatal. Jim Jones had just pulled the rug out from under Chrissy's husband, and the next move might not just ruin him, it could erase him entirely. And as the episode cut to black, the cliffhanger rang louder than any confession. What else does Jim Jones have in his vault? And will Chrissy's husband even survive long enough for the world to see it? The morning after Jim Jones detonated the internet, the world didn't wake up to peace, it woke up to war. The tape wasn't just a trending topic anymore. It was the conversation. Barbershops, beauty salons, breakfast shows, and even classrooms buzzed with the same sentence. "Did you see the tape?" The words carried like wildfire, and everywhere you went, people were arguing, replaying, and gasping over what Jim had just unleashed. Entertainment blogs plastered their front pages with screaming headlines. TMZ's banner read, "Jim Jones wrecks Chrissy's marriage with explosive full tape." The Shade Room looped the juiciest 30-second clip, Chrissy's husband mocking her loyalty, and racked up millions of views in hours. Hollywood Unlocked's post was drowned in snake emojis and crying memes. Even mainstream news outlets got pulled in, framing it as a cultural earthquake. But the fans weren't content with the first drop. They wanted more. They demanded the extended cut, and in less than 12 hours their wish came true. Second leak appeared online, not from Jim's page this time, but from anonymous accounts posting the longer version of the tape. It was darker, it was uglier, and it was 10 times more humiliating. The extended tape revealed conversations Chrissy's husband had with multiple women, laughing about living a double life. He boasted about how Chrissy ain't going nowhere, bragging that she'd defend him to the grave no matter what he did. And the line that made the internet stop breathing: "Chrissy's love is her weakness. I control it." Twitter exploded. Screenshots of that sentence became the most reposted image of the day. Fans tore into him mercilessly. "That's not love, that's manipulation. Chrissy deserves better. Period. You don't come back from mocking loyalty like that." Hashtag slid up like fireworks. Hashtag Chrissy leave. Hashtag double life. Jim was right. And then came the text messages. A supposed friend of Jim's leaked alleged conversations between Jem and Chrissy's husband months before. The texts showed her husband denying everything, insisting he was loyal while at the same time mocking Jim behind his back. One message read, "Chrissy only stays because she can't do better." Another, "Jim, bitter, washed up. Let him cry." The texts ripped through the fan base like a buzzsaw. Screenshots plastered across Instagram. TikTokers reading the texts dramatically, their faces contorting in shock. Twitter threads dissecting every time stump. The receipts lined up perfectly with the tape, and fans weren't just angry, they were disgusted. Meanwhile, Chrissy still hadn't spoken. Her silence grew heavier by the hour, and the pressure mounted. Paparazzi caught her leaving her home in all black oversized sunglasses covering her face, refusing to answer shouted questions. One photo showed her clutching her phone tightly, tears streaming beneath the shades. Blogs speculated endlessly. Was she leaving him? Was she plotting a comeback statement? Or was she breaking down in private while the world debated her worth? But then came the breaking point. At 3:12 p.m., Chrissy finally broke her silence. On Instagram, she posted a single story. Black screen, white text, 3 words, "I'm done." The internet exploded like dynamite. Fans flooded her comments with support. Celebrities reposted her story in solidarity. Taraji P. Henson wrote, "Sis deserves peace." Mary J. Blige added, "Protect your soul, queen." Tamar Braxton simply posted about time. Chrissy's silence had been tortured, but her words were liberation. For the first time in years, fans felt like she was choosing herself over humiliation. Her husband, on the other hand, was drowning. He tried to go live that evening, ranting angrily about fake edits and lies, but the chat dragged him relentlessly. Thousands of snake emojis flooded the comments. Fans typed, "We heard your voice. No edits. Dead weight, remember?" The live cut off abruptly, his face twisted in rage, and within minutes, blogs had reposted the meltdown with captions like, "This man spiraling." The industry piled on. Fat Joe went live and said, "This ain't no rumor. This is a man caught red-handed." Angie Martinez hinted on her radio show that whispers of this betrayal had been circulating for months, but nobody thought Jim would go nuclear and drop the receipts. Charlemagne thought God called it the death of an image on The Breakfast Club, saying, "Once the streets see you like this, you can't recover." And then Jim Jones, as if orchestrating the chaos like a maestro, posted again a photo of a chessboard with only one caption, "Checkmate." The symbolism shook fans to their core. Jim hadn't just lashed out. He had played this like a strategy. Every leak, every drop, every moment wasted him to perfection. The extended tape wasn't an accident. The texts weren't random. This was a plan. Demolition, and Chrissy's husband had been walking toward it blindfolded the entire time. But the internet wasn't done feasting. As night fell, another rumor surfaced that Jim was still holding the worst part of the tape. Allegedly, there was one final section, a confession so explosive it hadn't been released yet. According to insiders, it didn't just involve Chrissy's husband betraying her. It involved him betraying the very people who had protected him. People inside the industry who weren't going to stay quiet once their names were dragged into this storm. Fans went feral. What could be worse than this? If Jim got more dude better leave the country, ain't just scandal. This career suicide. Twitter boiled over with anticipation. Hashtag S forming in real time. Hashtag final receipt. Hashtag nuclear tape. Endgame. Chrissy stayed silent after her post, but insiders claimed she had packed up and left the marital home, staying with close friends. Sources whispered that she had broken down in tears, saying, "I gave everything, and he gave me nothing but humiliation." Fans riposted that alleged quote 1,000 times, their sympathy for her surging, their rage at him multiplying. And then, just before midnight, a mysterious Instagram account dropped a blurry teaser. A 10-second snippet of audio, a voice, clearly Chrissy's husband, saying, "If the truth ever comes out, I'm finished." The internet froze. Was this the missing piece? Was Jim about to unleash the unreleased section? Or was someone else leaking fragments just to keep the fire raging? By dawn, the only certainty was this: Chrissy's husband's reputation wasn't just damaged, it was destroyed. But with the whispers of another unreleased section still swirling, fans knew the worst was yet to come. And when Jim Jones posted a cryptic message at 6:00 a.m., a black screen with the words, "The final blow comes soon," the cliffhanger became undeniable. What could possibly be left in Jim's vault that would take this already catastrophic scandal and reduce Chrissy's husband to ashes? By the time the sun rose on day 3, the internet wasn't buzzing. It was foaming at the mouth. Everyone had seen the tape. Everyone had seen the extended cut. Everyone had dissected the texts. And everyone had replayed Chrissy's heartbreaking "I'm done" post until it burned into their minds. But all of it felt like a prelude. The whispers were louder now. The unreleased section, the so-called nuclear tape, loomed over the culture like a storm cloud. Fans didn't just want it, they demanded it. And then Jim Jones delivered at exactly 7:45 p.m. Without warning, Jim went live again. Tens of thousands flooded in instantly. He sat calm, almost smug, his voice low but razor sharp. "Y'all think you saw everything? Nah, that was the warm-up. Tonight, I'm giving y'all the piece that makes the whole puzzle come together. Tonight, y'all going to see why loyalty ain't just a word. It's life or death in this game." The chat exploded. "Drop it. What's left? End him." Jim smirked, reached off camera, and then pressed play. What came next wasn't just shocking, was annihilation. The final section of the tape revealed Chrissy's husband in a private conversation, laughing as he admitted to betraying not just Chrissy, but the very people who had kept him safe in the industry. He mocked producers, bragged about manipulating contracts, and worst of all, he admitted to leaking private information about other cast members for money. Voice was gleeful, unbothered, proud of being the snake in the grass. The internet collectively gasped. Within seconds, the clip was reposted everywhere. Fans couldn't believe the sheer audacity. "This man destroyed himself. How you betray Chrissy and the industry, bro? Really?" said career suicide. The hashtags trended lightning speed, hashtag final blow industry snake, hashtag finished forever. But Jim wasn't done twisting the knife. As the recording played, he leaned into the mic and added, "And y'all wonder why I dropped it now? This ain't just personal. This man been playing everybody, and I'm not letting him hide behind Chrissy no more." The fallout was nuclear. Within an hour, producers from Love and Hip Hop released a statement that they were evaluating future cast involvement. Translation: Chrissy's band was done. Industry insiders went public, confirming they had suspected shady moves for years, but never had proof until now. One producer allegedly texted Jim during the live, "You just saved us the trouble of exposing him ourselves." That screenshot leaked, too, sparking another wave of chaos. Meanwhile, Chrissy's world collapsed even further. Paparazzi caught her storming out of a friend's home, screaming into her phone, tears streaking down her face. One eyewitness claimed she yelled, "I defended you when nobody else would, and this is how you repay me." The photo went viral, captioned simply, "The face of betrayal." Her husband, cornered and humiliated, tried one last desperate move. He called into a podcast unannounced, his voice frantic, insisting, "This ain't the whole truth. Y'all don't know what's really going on." But instead of sympathy, the hosts grilled him. "We heard your voice. We saw your face. What's left to deny?" He hung up mini-interview, and within minutes, fans were posting clips of his meltdown with captions like, "He folded faster than cheap paper." The celebrity reactions were merciless. Meek Mill tweeted, "Too much clout chasing ends like this." Remy Ma doubled down. "If a man laughs at the woman who holds him down, he don't deserve her." And Cardi B, who had been quiet since her popcorn post, finally went live, blasting him directly. "I don't care what nobody says. Once you play with loyalty, you're done, period." Her words became the rallying cry for millions of fans who had already decided his fate. And then came the cruelest blow of all. Spotify, Apple Music, and multiple event organizers quietly pulled his name from upcoming shows and playlists. Screenshots of canceled contracts surfaced on fan pages. His streams plummeted overnight. The industry wasn't just disappointed. They were finished with him by midnight. Chrissy's husband had gone completely dark. No posts, no statements, no lives. His silence screamed defeat. Fans swarmed his old photos, flooding them with broken hearts and clown emojis. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Jim didn't just drop the tape, he buried this man. Jim Jones wasn't celebrating. Last post of the night was chillingly calm. A photo of a burning house with the caption, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." Fans knew exactly what it meant. He hadn't just destroyed a rival, he had ended a legacy, flipped the narrative, and reminded the world that loyalty is the only currency that matters. The cliffhanger was brutal. Was this truly the end of Chrissy's husband's career? Or was there still another move left in this twisted chess game? Could Chrissy rebuild from the ashes, or would she be dragged deeper into the ruins? One thing was certain. The final blow had landed, and the echo would be felt for years to come. If you thought this was the end, you couldn't be more wrong. What Jim Jones just did wasn't just a leak, it was a demolition. This was the kind of final blow that doesn't just bruise egos, it erases reputations. Chrissy's husband didn't just get exposed, he got annihilated, and the entire world watched it unfold in real time. But here's the chilling truth. Insiders are whispering that there are still more pieces to this puzzle, darker secrets tucked away. And if those ever come out, the fallout will be so catastrophic it'll make this tape look like child's play. The industry has already turned its back. Celebrities are dragging him publicly. And Chrissy herself has broken her silence in a way that left fans in tears. But don't think for 1 second that this story is done. Because if Jim really played this like chess, then we're only halfway through the game and the next move might burn the entire board down. This is why you cannot afford to blink right now. Hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Jim justified, or did he go too far? Should Chrissy walk away for good, or will she be pulled back into the chaos? And above all, subscribe with notifications on, because the next leak, the next betrayal, the next meltdown could drop any second. And if you miss it, we'll be watching the internet explode without you. Don't get left behind. Stay locked in, cause the saga is far from over.